Yo, this is Terrell from Hall of Fame Bullies, D-Line, and this is Bully Rants. Been going for a minute, so we had a lot of requests on what to talk about. And one of the more frequent questions were breeding questions and when a dog should be bred, how often a dog should be bred, what's the best ways to go about the breeding, and I don't have time to go over all of that stuff, but primarily, in my opinion, and that's just that because some medical people say opposite, but you can, I think it's not really at all safe to breed a dog until she's at least in her second heat. You know, a lot of times I like to wait to the third just because the third is typically puts them right around 2 years old most of the time. Generally, the second heat will be in that 14-month area generally. But, some people do go on the first heat, which I don't understand. I don't think it's a need for it. The female grows a lot from 8 months, 9 months, 10 months up to that, 14 to 16 month area. So I think it should definitely be a time allotment there and, to give her more chance of maturity. Now, a second thing that's been going on that's been of good debate is how many times can you breed a female? And I noticed, especially when I start dealing with the bullies, that the thing was skip a heat or do 2 breedings and skip a heat or your puppy milling, whatever they want to say. Well, actually, the way that I do things is somewhat, a lot of people wouldn't agree with me. But I wait and I plan out the bitch's breedings for probably 3 to 4 breedings in a row. And the reason I do that is because studies have shown that the female is actually healthier to do 3 or 4 breedings in a row. The progesterone levels and other different hormone levels that help the female recover and keep her at a healthy level are induced by the pregnancies themselves. And so therefore, a lot of times, a lot of medical people say, and even I've seen the AKC support that stance, that breeding the female back to back to back, so to speak, is actually a healthier thing for them because of the hormone maintenance and the way that it keeps everything in balance. So, I think a bigger issue with that is breeding for a purpose and not for money, and that's what we'll be talking about in the next bully rant. But if you're going to do a breeding, like it should be well planned. It should be for a purpose, not just for you to pay for dog food or to pay for whatever. There's many issues with the breeding. Me personally, I do a lot of C-sections. I do a lot of surgical AIs, and there's a lot of information on that. And you still have to understand that throughout the breeding process, it can be difficult. Every dog is not really going to be easy to be bred, and sometimes that means that they shouldn't be bred. You should first and foremost always just do a lot of research. There's a lot of good articles online about the breeding process, from frozen semen to fresh semen to AIs to surgicals to natural ties. The process of how the female ovulates. I've seen a female that ovulates in 5 days from the time of her heat cycle, and I've had a female that actually went almost 6 weeks. It was over 5 weeks, and we ended up doing, I think it was 8 or 9 progesterone tests as we tracked her heat cycle, and she literally did bleed for over a month. So, every female is different too. So if you're new to this, don't be frustrated and watch your females very closely. Always check them. I like to use a napkin and press pretty hard to see if there's any blood, but that still doesn't guarantee anything. When you see that she has that swelling in the vaginal area, then it's probably time to get to your vet and just get a progesterone test, because some females don't bleed at all during the heat cycle, and you may miss it and say she never came in the heat, and actually she was in full blown heat, eggs dropped and everything, and could have been bred. You just never did the test. So hopefully some of that information helps you out. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, Tobin Frost, or the Terrell Quincy page, and get with you next time. Peace.